just shy of 15 minutes later. From the corner of my eye, I see Monica coming up the street. I smile and wave at her. She smiles back and quickens her pace.
Told you I'd make it.
She seems a tad out of breath. She didn't... Never doubted you on that. Monica steps a bit closer and we quickly hug each other.
So, are you ready to go?
Of course. I just gotta call Sayori first. She's usually out by now. I pull out my phone and dial her. Well... oops, I clicked twice. Yeah, Sayori, what's taking you so... Sayori cuts me off, seeming embarrassed. Hang on a minute. I don't know why I thought that was one of those dots where you have to, like, hit it 3 times. Seems embarrassed. Hang on a minute. What do you mean by... What do you mean you can't find your uniform? Monica chuckles. Even for Sayori, this is new. Okay, I hope you'll catch up. See you, Sayo. I hang up and look back to Monica. Sorry about that.
No, you don't need to apologize. It's just Sayori being Sayori.
Monica then gently grabs a hold of my hand, once again locking her fingers with mine.
Besides, it does mean a bit more time alone.
This girl really knows how to make me smile. I squeeze her hand gently. Let's go! The pair of us then start the walk to school, hand in hand. Like many times before, there's a loving silence between Monica and I. There wasn't many students during the walk up that noticed us together. The few that did either seemed to have one of 2 reactions. Either an attitude of, ah, okay, or a seeming shock, more than likely because Monica's with someone like me. We eventually come up by a small convenience store.
I'm just gonna get some coffee. You want anything?
I'll have some coffee, too.
I'll be right back.
I idly wait outside as Monica goes to get our drinks. After a few minutes, I start to hear a familiar voice calling out to me, accompanied by the quickly approaching sounds of footsteps. Meaning that could only be... Sayori takes a couple more moments to catch her breath.
I guess there's a reason I didn't make the cut for the drag team then.
I chuckle, mostly to myself.
Hey!
You said it, not me. Before Sayori can say anything, Monica comes out of the store, coffee cups in each hand.
Hey, love, sorry I took so long. I bumped into... Kaho and Sayori!
Monica knew that Sayori was going to try to catch up with us, but I doubt she knew she'd be this quick. Sayori's cheeks go a slight tinge of red as she smiles to the side.
I knew it!
After hearing those words, both Monica and I go silent as we get closer to each other. I guess we were going to have to tell her at some point. It's not even been a week, but yeah.
Remember when Hallie went to check on me? Well, he kinda let it slip that he loved me. And since I was gonna tell him on Sunday, I decided that it was the right time to say it.
Monica then squeezes my hand as she smiles at Sayori. Sayori smiles back at us.
Thanks, Lee, the way it took so long on Monday. That's really sweet.
Sayori's starting to tear up. Come here. I pull Sayori into a quick hug. Admittedly, I want to cry as well. Moments like this between Sayori and I were always sweet to me.
Anyway, we should probably head off now. Off we go.
I then finished the rest of the walk with my best friend and my beautiful girlfriend. The bell for lunch break rings out, and I'm the first to rush out of class. Like I've done for the rest of this week, I instinctively start heading towards the roof. In a sense, that's become mine and Monica's personal space from the crowds within the school. Or away from the crowds, rather. Before I can start making my way up the stairs, though, a familiar voice calls my name. I gave him, like, dude voice, right? Hey, Allie! Stopped momentarily, I turn around. As expected, there stands Ryuji, this time accompanied by Kaho. In all honesty, this is my first time meeting Kaho in person. Of course, Ryuji's shown me pictures of them together, and I'm certain I may have seen her around the school. Before that, I only knew her because of the student council, where Monica had met her, given they're both part of it.
So, you're the Hana that Monica was telling me about. I guess I can kinda see why she's into you.
I roughly remember Ryuji saying that Kaho has a bit of a habit of being flirty, even unintentionally.
Anyways, how's things been with you so far?
Honestly, they've been pretty great so far.
And that would explain why Monica's been a lot more upbeat this week. Not to say she's not usually like that. I just meant that she's been happier than I've seen her before. It's actually kind of adorable.
She's not the only one that's noticed that. I've just been treating her like I always have, is all. I'm trying, and failing, to hide a smile and blush.
Well, however you did it, I'm proud of you, kid.
Mate, I'm hardly a kid when I'm a week older than you. Ryuji gives off a nervous chuckle while Kaho seemingly tries to repress going into hysterics. I get the idea that they usually have moments like this between them. Maybe I should expect Monica to be a bit more like this as well?
Anyway, we should probably let you go now. Wouldn't want to keep Monica waiting too long now, would we?
I nod and smile back at Kaho. Well, it's been nice actually meeting you in person, Kaho. And I'll see you in about. I quickly checked the time on my phone. Still got some time before lunch ends. In about 20 minutes, Ryuji.
See you then, man.
The pair of them then head off to wherever they're going as I start to head up to the roof. I guess Chad in this mod will have to have the dude voice instead of the voice I usually give him. For the brief time we had together, the talk between Monica and I was quite loaded. By the sounds of it, some of the students that had seen us that morning were either on the student council or in Monica's PE class. According to her, it never felt like interrogation. She was just getting kinda exhausted answering everyone's questions. Sure, I was asked by a couple of other students, but I can't but feel a little bad for Monica. Can't help it. There's not much longer to go until I see her again. As for now, I'm just sitting through the remainder of English class. This year, it's definitely felt like I've been able to focus on this class a lot more than I've usually done. Maybe that's due to Miss Asakawa being the best teacher I've actually had for this subject. At the moment, we are studying an old European play called The Mask. As has been the case since the start of this term, there was a group reading session. It was usually the same 5 or 6 students reading out to the rest of the class. One student seems to outshine the rest, though.
If I were to be reborn, even if it's to find the will of God himself, I would want to be with you.
After she finishes, Asakawa gives her a short round of applause. Fantastic wig as always, Sadako. Sadako is able to read out loud, 2 words, with as much confidence as she does is amazing to me. She doesn't really speak that much during class. She kind of reminds me of Yuri in that sense. The bell then rings out, bringing the school week to an end for a good chunk of students. For me, though, it means 2 things. Time for the literature club and more time with Monica. I guess we don't get to see what Sadako looks like. It was only a short walk to the clubroom. And of course, I'm greeted by...
Hey, Allie.
Hey, Moni. We quickly embrace each other, smiling warmly.
I'm still not used to you calling me Moni.
That was something that happened during one of our calls, and it's stuck ever since. It's adorable how flustered she gets when I say it. Well, it's cute, just like you.
Oh, stop.
Our little moment is cut short by the sound of the clubroom door bashing against the wall.
So, what's this I've heard about you two dating?
Natsuki's demanding tone is enough to keep us both quiet.
At first I thought it was just people spreading shit. But then Sayori told me. And Sayori doesn't lie, you know.
I don't get why this is such a surprise to you guys. You saw it coming. I mean, we were going to tell Natsuki and Yuri when they both got here. Ah, fuck it. I go to turn to Monica, but she's gone to inspect the door for any possible damage. Note to self, don't underestimate Natsuki's strength. So yeah, Monica and I are a couple. I make a nervous smile towards Natsuki.
How long?
Since Monday. Natsuki thinks for a bit.
So when you told me you were gonna ask her out the other day, you were lying?
Well, not exactly.
Friends don't lie, Hallie.
Yeah? Well, friends don't punch each other in the gut either. My stomach still kinda hurts because of that.
Touché.
Typical Natsuki.
Natsuki, you're lucky the door's alright.
Natsuki blushes a bit.
Sorry about that.
Please be a little more careful.
Natsuki nods.
Although I need to ask something, Monica.
Why do I get the feeling I know what she's gonna ask?
Well, since you're with Hallie, just how bad is your taste in men?
Natsuki.
I honestly can't tell who's more embarrassed by that joke, me or Monica.
Yes.
but we'll have some time to figure that out as a voice calls out to Natsuki from the door.
At least Hallie's real Natsuki.
Oh, destroyed. We look to the door and, sure enough, Yuri and Sayori are standing in the doorway. Yuri's got an unusually cheeky smile on her face, and Sayori's trying as hard as she can to not burst into laughter. Natsuki struggles to get any words out.
Be right back.
With an exaggerated look on her face, Natsuki storms off towards Yuri. Sayori comes.
There's my favorite happy couple.
She gives us both a hug and a traditional Sayori smile.
So, how have your days been?
Kinda average. Had some people ask before maths, but besides that, nothing out of the ordinary.
Let's just say the main focus of today's student council meeting wasn't about the school.
Hopefully next week should be a bit calmer in regards to our relationship. The look in Sayori's eyes makes me think she can already guess how hectic Monika's day's been.
But it's okay now. I'm here now and we can all relax. That sounds like a nice plan. Like, I know we haven't really done much club stuff since the festival, but I think having this week to ourselves might have helped everyone cool off.
Whilst Sayori gives the pair of us an earnest smile, in there, Monika forces one. I don't think the mentioning of the festival helped her case either. By the looks of it, Sayori didn't notice Monika's apparent grievances before she started going over to Natsuki.
To be completely honest with the pair of you, I did have my suspicions.
Okay, now you've spelled it with both an S and a C. Normal American English spelling is with a C. Which one is it, man? Which one? If it's a Britishism, spell it with an S. If it's not, fix it.
I just didn't say anything, just in case you weren't. You weren't.
Yuri averts her gaze from us. Yuri, it's okay. Yuri's eyes flicker back to meet mine, and I flash her a soft, reassuring smile. Just out of curiosity. There's curiosity with a U again. Though, what made you suspicious? Wait. Yeah, there it is with the SC again. I don't know what's happening. British English, I hate it. Of course, I already know a good chunk from when she mentioned it at the cafe on Monday, but could there be more to it? She thinks for a second, glancing first at me and then Monika.
Well, I suppose there was the time where Monika ended up dozing off on your shoulder. God, I almost forgot about that!
A familiar crimson veil forms across Monika's face. But she's not visibly blushing. If I remember right, it was Wednesday when that happened. Much like the week I'd initially joined the club, Monika was tired out by Kurosawa's class, which was entirely understandable. When I got into the club room that day, only Yuri and Monika were in the club. Monika noticed me and beckoned me over to the front desk. One thing led to another, and she'd eventually passed out on my shoulder. Part of me wanted to wake her up, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. She was too peaceful.
Hallie? You okay there?
Shit, was I daydreaming again? Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. I mean, it's not exactly the truth, but it's not entirely bollocks either. Besides the few questions about how things are between Monika and I, and the occasional jab at my expense courtesy of Natsuki? Wait a second. Courtesy. I don't know if this is another Britishism, dang it. It's usually Courtesy. To me, this says Kurtowsy of Natsuki. The club meeting is as normal as ever. It does seem to go rather quickly, though. I swear Fridays also seem to drag at the start, but then they go by way too quickly. Before the meeting draws to it is closed, Monika calls out to the group.
Okay, everyone. Could all of you come to the front for a moment?
Did she say for a moment or just for a moment? For a moment. I'm the first to the front of the club room, with the rest of the club following shortly behind me.
So, I'm sure you've noticed we've not really shared poems since Monday. But I've been doing some thinking since then. Would you want to start doing it as a twice a week kind of thing?
There's a moment or two of silence as her question settles in our minds. In all honesty, as much as I enjoyed sharing poems last week, having it as a nightly thing did put a strain on my brain. Maybe it could even improve the overall quality of my work. I'd be up for that. I'm the first to pipe up. It's not too long until the other girls give their answers.
I'm up for it. It would give me a bit more time to better refine my writing. I'm fine with that.
Natsuki's still thinking it over.
Natsuki?
I'm surprised she's the most reluctant.
I mean, I was just gonna say Hallie's only saying...
It ended on its own.
I was just gonna say... Hallie's only saying he's up for it because he's your bitch.
You cheeky little
But that's actually a good idea.
Natsuki gives us only a wide smile at the cost of mine and Monika's embarrassment. That's embarrassing.
With that, we can end today's meeting on a good note. I'll see you all next week.
With that, we all go and pack our things. It's not too long until both Natsuki and Yuri make their leave, leaving only Monika, Sayori, and myself. I can tell they're talking about something, but I can't make out what. The pair of them soon approach me.
So, are you ready to walk home, Hallie?
Yeah, just give me a sec. I sling my bag over my shoulder. I look over at Sayori. You coming with, Sayo?
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna stop hanging out with you just because you're with Monika. That'd be dumb. Didn't take a lot for Sayori to ditch you, Hallie. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. It was kind of a dumb question to ask anyways. After exchanging some laughter, we all walk off, missing a G in exchanging. The walk home is brighter than usual, which is saying a lot. Monika and I mostly keep to ourselves, occasionally answering Sayori's questions about our plans for the weekend. Sayori herself seems exceedingly energetic, again, more so than usual. She is mostly complaining about exams, can't exactly blame her though. It's not too long till the subject of how Natsuki took the news. It's only normal it would have come up, considering how both Sayori and Yuri only showed up after Natsuki.
She's kind of lucky the door didn't get damaged.
And lucky that the door was unlocked. Poor girl could have dislocated her arm like that.
Sorry about that.
Hey Sayori, it's okay. Now we're gonna find out one way or another. We've not been the most secret about it today. I made a sly smile towards Monika, or make a smile like that one, causing her to blush heavily.
You say that like we were making out in the corridor.
She makes a quiet giggle, the sort of giggle that makes me think that maybe that thought had crossed her mind.
Don't give him don't give him ideas.
The blush from Monika's cheeks seemingly transfers over to mine. Damn it, Sayori!
Anyway, see you both later. See you later.
Later, Sayo. As soon as Sayori's inside, Monika and I make the extremely quick trip back to my place. I release Monika's hand to fish my keys from my pocket.
I'll text you when I get home, Hallie.
I turn to face her and see her playing with loose strands of her hair. I smile as I step closer to her, gently grabbing hold of her hands. There's something I want to ask first. Would you want to go out tomorrow? I know it's not much, but I was thinking of going into town.
Hallie, remember what I told you on Monday?
I think for a bit. A lot happened on Monday, so a lot of my memories are slightly blurred. I try to focus, but Monika breaks that focus by squeezing my hands a little tighter.
The more time I get to spend with you, the better. No matter where we go, as long as I'm with you, I'll be happy.
She lets go after saying that, her words cementing themselves in my head. Yeah, there you go. Aside from Sayori, Monika's the first person to say that to me. I can't help but beam at her. I go to say something that only for Monika to man away over me and plant a quick kiss on my cheek. Out. Is British outmaneuver spelled with an O here? Please tell me it's not. I feel like that's the only thing missing in there. She returns my smile as I raise my hand to my cheek.
I'll text you when I'm home.
Monika hurriedly speaks before starting to make the trek back home. I stammer incoherently, completely flustered. Completely. Get rid of this L. Completely. Yeah. I stay stood outside until I can no longer see Monika. After that, I head inside and retreat back to my bedroom. Monika and I must have ended up texting for hours. Nothing new for either of us. Even if I can't hear her voice, she still manages to make me smile. If Natsuki was there, she'd probably tell me to get this stupid grin off your face. After we wish each other good night, I start to get ready for bed. For the first time in a while, it's an early night for me. Not that I'm complaining though. It's like Monika said, the more time I get to spend with her, the better. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.